Breaking tonight, President Trump is about to arrive at the Broward County Sheriff's Office. What happened in Florida has upset and shocked us all. The relentless killing in our schools must stop. So what role should or can the media play in this debate, though?
President Trump addressed the attack, as you know, but he did not mention the word gun.
President Trump won't even say the word gun in his address to the nation.
That's the message that I give out every day, which is, so long as Trump is there, nothing big is going to be gotten done.
People who are saying, oh, you know, it's not the time to talk about guns or whatever. Yes, it is. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. It absolutely is.
I agree this is a mental illness issue, because if you don't think we need to do something about it, you're obviously mentally ill.
Joining me now, Howie Kurtz, host of Media Buzz, author of Media Madness, Donald Trump, the Press, and the War Over the Truth. Howie, you know, that was a mix. Obviously, you know, Jimmy Kimmel is not a reporter, but we did see some journalists and hosts of their own programs there weighing in on the gun issue. It's, I guess, in some ways, it's tough not to get emotional during the course of covering these events in some ways.
Well, I don't have a problem with journalists saying that guns have to be part of the debate, especially since this was carried out with an AR-15. Yeah. But I do, and when you even have the conservative pro-Trump New York Post with a banner headline, "Mr. President, do something," tells you something about the emotions. But I do have a problem with all of these attacks on the president, who is trying to deliver a healing message of unity. How dare he not mention guns? That kind of shows an agenda. And I do have a problem with commentators who blame Republicans, blood on your hands, because they don't take the same position when it comes to regulating guns as many of those in the media do.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because you start to hear these enormous numbers of money that goes to the NRA. And looking at that critically, it's interesting. The Open Secrets website lists the top 10 lobbying firms in America, and the NRA doesn't even make the top 10. They're not in the top 20 of the large donations that Marco Rubio has received, and he's gotten a lot of heat for being supported strongly by the NRA. So we need to make sure that our facts are right with all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to point out NRA contributions, because the power of the group goes beyond handing out cash to, for example, running barrages of TV ads against incumbents if used as pro-gun control. But, you know, even more important than the NRA is the fact that gun owners in this country are a passionate and motivated voting group, and Democrats still haven't forgotten how many of them lost seats after Bill Clinton passed that assault weapons ban back in 1994. That's more than the NRA, Martha, is the reason that even Barack Obama and Joe Biden couldn't get a single gun control measure through Congress during their 8 years in office.
So true, Howie. You know, 30% of Americans, or about 100 million Americans, own a gun. And they themselves, based on their own feelings about that and the Second Amendment, are a very powerful voting bloc, separate and apart from any money that the NRA might be getting. You know, when you look at this, the question that a lot of people were quoting the number 18 school shootings that had happened in 2018. That number is not accurate. You know, it's important to be right, clearly.
Right.
But also, you know, any one child, one shooting is enough to make this obviously such an important
I was going to
story.
say, even one school shooting is one too many. But I was surprised to learn that the 18 figure, because I've seen it in so many media outlets, MSNBC, the broadcast networks, repeated. It comes from this group called Everytown Against Gun Violence. And it turns out it includes such incidents as a man committing suicide outside a school that had been closed for months. So that's blatantly deceptive. The Washington Post blew the whistle on it. And all of us as journalists have to be careful not to accept as facts propaganda and loaded numbers put out by advocacy groups.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are bad enough without inflating them. You know, and the numbers are way too high, as we all know, and we watch this play out. Just a quick thought on President Trump tonight, Howie, before I let you go. He's about to enter the Broward County Sheriff's Office in terms of how he's handled this so far.
Well, you know, leaving aside, I mean, I thought he gave a pretty good speech. Obviously, as you pointed out, a lot of critics say, oh, he should have mentioned guns. But, you know, he's there in Florida, which is sort of his second home state. He's visiting people. He's doing what a chief executive needs to do at this time of tragedy, which is to show that he's engaged, involved, empathetic. And I don't think even his severest critics should begrudge him what he's doing right now.
And the signal from the White House is that he's very serious about mental health and talking about figuring out ways to address it in terms of law enforcement. So that's a big issue that nobody has really been willing to confront and take on.
It would be good to see more specifics. This is a broader issue than just guns.
Absolutely. Howie, thank you very much. Good to see you tonight.
Same here.